It is no surprise that the pandemic was incredibly unique in the sense that automobiles became appreciating assets, but it is incorrect to think that only dealers and wholesalers made profits. That is not true. Regular consumers without dealer or wholesale licenses were making thousands in returns with little to no risk at all, such as this person. Now, before we continue, subscribe to our channel for automotive content, and if you are looking for a new car, take a look at our website. Our goal is to make car shopping as easy as getting an iPhone. Research the car you want and buy or lease. That's it. No need to negotiate, as our in-network dealers offer discounts that attract clients from multiple states over. Now, back to the topic at hand. How was this individual able to orchestrate such a financial feat by flipping Jeep Wranglers? That is a big question. And I know you want the answer ASAP, but we have to lay down some foundation in order for it to make some sense. It is critical to discuss what allowed this to occur before we deep dive into this question. So let's get into it. It is well known that during the pandemic, over 95% of dealers were making market adjustments on their in-stock vehicles or factory orders. In-stock inventory for new cars were very low, so they had very little incentive to discount vehicles, particularly Mercedes, BMW, Lexus, Kia, Audi, Toyota, because of a number of reasons. Number one, they could not place factory orders, and if they were able to do so, they had very little allocation. So factory orders were limited, particularly on higher trims, or the manufacturer would not replenish dealer inventory in a timely manner, such as Toyota and Kia. Now, Stellantis, the parent company for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, is different from every other brand I just mentioned. Because it provides the highest consumer incentive over any other manufacturer out there. Additionally, dealers can place unlimited factory orders. So dealers discovered that one method to massaging down supply issues is by offering discounts on factory orders because, factory orders take priority over replenished dealer inventory. So during the pandemic, many offered front-end discounts upwards of 10% off MSRP, such as our in-network dealers. Now, that is a very attractive lease offer, but what if I told you that you were able to stack this on top of the $7,500 EV credit, and on a lease, that credit is applied upfront because, the manufacturer passed the EV credit to the customer, removing the need for the customer to file for the credit at the end of the tax year. Now, there is more. The other key things that made this an attractive lease offer were the low money factor, which is interest rate, high residual, which basically allows you to pay less depreciation, and the delivery times were very quick. We're talking about 1 to 2 to 3 months, especially if you do not customize the vehicle that much. Now, if you want a deep dive in lease terminology, check out the video in the description box below. To summarize, you are saving nearly $13,000 on a brand new model that is entering the market for the very first time. Now, the regular Jeep Wranglers, the gas ones, is historically one of the most in-demand vehicles, and during the pandemic, dealers did not possess any of the hybrid versions. So what does this mean? You now have a large spread on a highly demanded product in a tightly supplied market. So many saw this as an opportunity. Unfortunately, most customers opted to move over to the used car market, increasing demand in that sector and pushing prices higher and for longer because they were not aware of the few brokers or the dealers that marketed discounts during the pandemic. As a result, there were a few that leased significantly discounted Jeep Wranglers and sold them at a premium to third parties such as Carvana and CarMax. And as a result, these new vehicles would then become used vehicles. So let's take a look at a few examples. This person here sold a Jeep Wrangler Sahara 4xe with an MSRP of $56,200 with 500 miles to driveway for $55,336, which is roughly $1,000 less than the MSRP. Or this other one where he gives additional information. He ordered a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 4xe, ordered on January 14th, arrived on March 14th. He picked it up on April 1st. The ordered MSRP was $61,035. He sold it to Carvana on 5/26 for $60K, and he had about 2,000 miles on it. Now, if you are interested, stay tuned where we will discuss the criteria required to have made optimal ROI with little to no risk. This is data that we have pretty much collected from many different sources over the course of nearly 2 years. The first two key things I'd like to roll up together because, they go hand in hand, is the delivery duration and the configuration needed for optimal return on investment. With any investment, you'd like to acquire your returns as quickly as possible. And in this case, you'd like to take delivery of your vehicle as quickly as possible. And the quickest method to achieve this in a time marred with shortages is to ensure that your order is relatively bare bones. Basically, you'd like to configure your vehicle with little to no options. Most opted for a base model Sahara or Rubicon with soft top And if you were in the north, you wanted to get the cold weather package, which included the heated seats. The other key piece of data that surprised us was that you'd see a reduction in your return on investment with an increased MSRP. So it was a win-win to place a relatively bare order. Second is to move forward with reputable dealers to ensure that you would not face games once the vehicles arrived to the dealership. Remember, dealerships had none of these in stock and would be able to sell these at a premium if you backed out. Now, dealers can have up to 30% of customers cancel their orders without incurring a penalty. This penalty basically would not allow dealers to place any more factory orders for up to 3 months. They would still get your canceled order as an in-stock unit, but some of the games they played were, not honoring discounts, requiring a holding period, marking up money factor or acquisition fee on the back end. So check out the video in the description box below that discusses how dealers make money on the front end and the back end. As we just discussed, consumers did not want to wait 6 to 8 weeks only to be pushed out of their orders for the dealers to take that as an in-stock and sell it at a premium. So consumers mitigated this risk by spreading out their orders across multiple dealerships. Since you could remotely sign your paperwork, you did not have to be physically located close to the dealerships where you place your orders. We witnessed people from Portland, Oregon, where they had no sales tax, which made it even a better deal, order these vehicles from East Coast dealers. Additionally, dealers that offered refundable order deposits were the most attractive in terms of risk reduction because market trends, are hard to predict by anyone 6 to 8 weeks from order date. So refundable order deposits allowed customers to back out at any moment without incurring a loss. Simply because you place an order does not require you to move forward with the order. This allowed you to gauge the vehicle's MMR information close to the arrival of the vehicle. If the MMR was favorable, you would opt to move forward with the lease. Additionally, since you had the VIN, you could also gauge your return on investment by receiving offers from third parties before you even signed your paperwork or took delivery of the vehicle. Lastly, this deal was only feasible in every state apart from Maryland, Texas, and Virginia. The reason is because you have to pay taxes for the entire vehicle up front, even though it's a lease in those states. Now, I know what you're asking. Can you sell a lease since it is the bank's property? Yes, you can. So as long as you meet the payoff quotes set by the bank, you could purchase or sell that particular car. Traditionally, the payoff quote is more than the market value. The market value being, what you sell to a third party. During the pandemic, the opposite scenario held true, where the market value greatly exceeded the payoff value. Now, this began in 2020 and plateaued in April of 2022, but this was not the only vehicle that was subject to incredible return on investments for the public. The Dodge Hellcat, the Ram TRX were a few of the vehicles that were leased and sold to third parties and had great return on investments. To summarize, consumers ordered multiple Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles, leased them, and sold them to third parties. And if done right, you would essentially risk $0 during the whole process. Profits for each sold order went as high as almost $12,000. This was a fantastic investment in my opinion because again, you're risking $0. There was little work required on your end. And in some cases, you could have done everything from the comfort of your home. And so, you could have essentially moved forward with a lease, remotely signed your documents, have the vehicle delivered to you, sell it to Carvana, and have Carvana pick up the vehicle for you. So honestly, I think this was one of the best investments I've seen in a long time. Now that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like and subscribe to our channel to get notified as soon as new content drops, and see you in the next video.